This is 40 years worth of wisdom that I'm sharing with you in one video. So I am turning 40, the big 40 in just a few days. And this is a video that really means a lot to me. I'm going to share all of the major things that have really impacted my life over these past 4 decades. I'm going to start with my holy grail products and things that I swear by, and then I'm going to get into the life lessons. So I really encourage you to stay for this whole video. Get a little snack. One of my top 3 most prized possessions of my life is my Kindle. Isn't she cute? I actually have 2 different ones because I have one that I take with me to go, one that I keep with me in the bed. January 2023, I decided I'm addicted to trashy reality TV. I have no attention span. I'm going to start getting back into reading, and it has improved my life in more ways than I have time to express, but I feel like it makes me a more interesting person because I read fiction, nonfiction, all sorts of genres. It helps expand my mind. It helps to relax me. And reading is what has got me through the hardest time of my life, just as an escape. So if it's been a while since you read a book, I do love the Kindle because you have an entire library just in your pocket. It's so portable. And I find that I read faster with the Kindle. And I always do share the books that I'm reading on my Instagram stories. So go follow me there if you have not. If I had to pick my number 1 most prized possession, that if my home was burning in a fire, this is what I would go save. And it is this, the Mom's 1 Line a Day journal. I started this when Carter was born, and I would write 1 line a day of whatever my favorite memory was of that day. I cannot tell you what this means to me because these are all things I would have completely forgotten. And now I can go back. June 20, 2017. Mommy is tired and worn down from taking care of you and working every night from 8:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. I may need to hire a nanny, but I have so much mom guilt. I want to be with you all day long. One day I'm going to give this to him. Now, what I will say, so I did this every day for 5 years, which sounds crazy, but it takes 30 seconds and it is worth it. However, after having 2 kids, I now do Mom's 1 line a week. And you don't even have to do it if you're a mom, just in general. These are things that you would forget. I highly encourage you can start today. You don't have to start on January 1st or when you have a kid. Just start today. And the easiest way to do it is just to do the 1 line a week. Or if you want to challenge yourself, do 1 line a day. The nose spray. This has to be on here because this has helped prevent me and my kids from getting sick for years. I'm not exaggerating. It is actually mind-blowing. My kids were constantly getting sick. It's always some kind of a cold, stuffy nose, virus. It just goes around. Actually, after COVID time, I found out about this, but it is a nasal iodine solution and you just spray that in your nasal passages. And what I learned recently, you don't want to spray it directly up. You kind of want to spray it on the side of your nostrils, and the iodine will help kill any viruses that go in through your nasal passages. They multiply there and then they spread. I have looked into this extensively. I've talked to my kid's pediatrician about it. I have not got a cold or a flu since I started doing this. My kids have not missed school for a cold or a flu. They have had other ailments like pink eye, there was like a stomach bug, no COVID, flu, anything like that. So again, this is not medical advice. I never want to give medical advice. You can talk to your own doctor or pediatrician, but it's like $17. I have this on auto ship. I swear by the nose spray. This is my number 1 most purchased, most repurchased item, the Orgain chocolate protein drinks. I first discovered them when my younger brother had cancer and he had a really hard time eating. He had a lot of nausea from chemo. So that was what he was kind of drinking to sustain himself. And it was developed by somebody who had cancer and had a hard time getting the nutrients because it's not just the protein, it has vitamins. It has a decent amount of calories, so it can be like a snack or a small meal replacement. And it doesn't have any of the junk in it. It's all organic. It doesn't have carrageenan or any of the bad ingredients that you want to avoid. Now, for me, when I was pregnant, I was having a hard time eating enough and breastfeeding. And sometimes like before a workout, whenever I just need those extra calories, that extra boost, I've purchased this like 120 times. And now I get to work with Orgain. I've worked with them in the past. Next also comes from a brand that I've worked with in the past. This is not sponsored, but Ritual, specifically their probiotic. It's their Symbiotic Plus. I've just noticed my energy, my health, everything feels better when I take my daily probiotic. And it's just one of those things like, do I need another supplement? Does it really do anything? Yes, I did an experiment where I was going on and off different supplements. I was tracking my mood, my energy. The probiotic for me now is a non-negotiable. I personally subscribe and pay for it myself, and I will continue to. This at-home massage setup, you guys, I cannot convey to you how much I love this. I love massage. If it was up to me, I would have somebody come and give me a full body massage every day, but that is not affordable or practical for me to do. So the next best thing I'm telling you is specifically this setup right here, okay? Because this is the back massager. It gets all the way up your neck. This is better than the neck massager. This is my new favorite. You sit here and it just gets in there and it feels like it's a person going in and massaging your back. It's even better and deeper if you lay it on the floor and you lay on top of it because there's a little bit more pressure. And then this foot massager, I want to say it's like $100, but I love a foot massage. I just love a massage. So basically, for the price of getting one massage at a nice spa, I can give myself a massage. And I do sit on here every single day. I'm also very big into health and hygiene. I always want to be smelling my best. The mouthwash, the Miracle mouthwash. I constantly talk about this, but I feel more confident. Not only is my breath nice and fresh, but when I'm out and about and socializing, I just always feel fresh. It actually helps your oral microbiome. A lot of mouthwashes are like stripping your mouth. This does not, but it works and it burns. And you already know I talk about it constantly. And this is a new one. You know, I love my pheromone rollerball. I mean, I am out and about and I do meet people all the time, but it doesn't have a strong fragrance to it. My favorite fragrance that I mean, it's my number one. It is a kind of a alternative for the Bianco Latte, which is the most beautiful gourmand fragrance. So gourmand means you smell good enough to eat. I love smelling edible, but sexy and not too sweet. I get compliments on it. So this is my little fragrance duo that makes me feel fabulous. Also, something I'm noticing as I'm getting older is I'm starting to have some volume loss. Like I was at a point where I was considering getting a lower blef. Instead, I decided to try this topical option. It's called Volufiline, and my mom has a skincare company. It's called Volume. She got the Volufiline, I believe it comes from France, and she blended it with other great hydrating ingredients, but it's a topical plumping ingredient. So I've been putting it under my eyes, and I have noticed a noticeable difference. So if you are starting to notice hollowness or fat loss under your eyes, very affordable, and it's on the roller ball. So I just put this on morning and night because I'm trying to get that volume back up. I could go like on and on with my most favorite things, but I do have to say the organic bamboo sheets changed the game, and the ice blanket. Like think about how much time you spend sleeping. Like to me, that is an investment, and they're so cooling and luxurious and silky soft every day of the week. Bamboo sheets and then the ice blanket. So I have my bamboo sheets underneath me, the ice blanket on top. It is cooling and it actually works. I don't know what kind of technology is in here, but it really helps keep me 2 to 5 degrees cooler, and it makes a difference. Okay, now for part 2 of this video, these are my biggest life lessons, to the point that I am making this video to share with my children one day. Like that is how important and meaningful these life lessons are. And we're gonna start with, there is no bigger decision that you will make in this life than who you decide to marry. So do not rush that decision. Do not make that decision out of desperation or lower your standards, because that is the person who will be by your side every single day. You are only as happy as the least happy person in a relationship. So if that person is grumpy and has a bad attitude, they'll be bringing you down every day. And whatever it is about them that you don't like, it's going to get 10 times worse over time. Really ask yourself, is this something I can live with the rest of my life? Is this how I want to be loved for the rest of my life? Another thing I've learned is that if you communicate and express something to a partner that you don't like and it doesn't change, at that point, it's a pattern. And once it becomes a pattern, it's a choice that you have to decide. Can I live with this? Because if you express something that has hurt you or that you can't live with, and they don't change that, or they say they are, but then they go back into the old behaviors, it's a pattern. And you have to believe people's patterns. Do not believe their words, believe their patterns. The other biggest thing I will be teaching both of my kids, but especially my daughter, is how to spot a narcissist. What I would say, the earliest sign, how do they react when you tell them that you've hurt them or when you tell them no. If they turn it on you, if they get defensive, if they get mean, if they make you the problem, then that is somebody who I would avoid. Also, kind of along those lines, people show you who they are very early on. Now, I am so refined in this. I can tell within the first week of knowing someone, just like very small behavioral patterns, how they communicate, how they talk about other people, even like micro expressions. People show you who they are very early on. And the challenge in life is knowing how to not only identify, but being strong enough and secure enough and having high enough standards to walk away. If somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time. The second someone shows me a red flag, they're out of my life. I do not look back. I do not turn back. I'm moving forward, because what has taken me 39 years to learn is you date at the level of your self-esteem. So if you only love yourself 40%, someone comes in and loves you 45%, you think that's a lot. You think that's good enough. But if you love yourself 100%, someone else has to come in and love you 100% for you to see the value in them and that they really see you and get you and they're loving you properly. And how do you love yourself? That's a whole other video that I will do in the future, because I feel like I'm finally getting there and I'm not seeking that validation externally. Once you realize you're on the wrong train, get out at the first stop and turn back. Never be afraid to say, I made a wrong decision and I'm going to turn back. The longer you're on the train, the longer it's going to take to turn back. And you have one life to live. You deserve to be happy. So I'm out here, I'm talking to anyone. Maybe you're in a relationship or in a marriage. You're not happy. You feel drained, depleted. You have tried everything and it's not getting better. You have one life to live. And I'm not advocating to break up your family, but when it gets to a point where you are in misery and you have tried everything and it's not getting better, it goes back to one of the first things I said, which is believe people's patterns. Don't believe their words, believe their patterns. One of the biggest, most overlooked skill that it's not even on most people's radar, and that is research. Know how to research things. That is how I would argue that I even have the career, the platform that I have today. I research how to start a YouTube channel. I research all these random topics and come online and share what I've learned. I'm always learning, and it's not just finding the information, but knowing how to tell what information is credible, knowing how to look at research studies and is this statistically significant, who's sponsoring the study. And my rule of thumb when it comes to researching things is the bigger the decision or the bigger the impact it has, the more time and effort I spend on researching it. And that kind of leads me on to my next piece of advice, is to always stay curious. Always have a beginner's mind. Never be a know-it-all and think that you know everything. So it goes with having like a growth mindset, that you're always learning and growing. But I just find life and people and everything endlessly fascinating. And it just makes life more fun. The number one piece of life advice that has helped my mental health, and if there's no other advice that you take from me ever, learning to be kind to yourself, because anxiety, depression, stress, all of it comes from the voice in your head and what it's either telling you or not telling you. And usually the voice in your head comes from your primary caregiver growing up, and maybe they weren't so nice to you. So that's how you talk to yourself. So if you make a mistake, are you mean to yourself? Are you saying, oh, you're a failure, nobody likes you, you're going to lose everything? Or do you say, hey, it's okay, you tried your best and you can try again next time? That switch in my brain, it's shocking. And if that doesn't come naturally to you and it's really difficult, how you can think about it is try to talk to yourself and give yourself the advice you would give to your child. Like, I'm so kind and sweet and understanding to my kids when they mess up. So you need to give that same kindness to yourself. Consistency is everything. The reason I have achieved the success that I have over the years, besides being a good researcher, the other side of that coin is consistency. Just do it and worry about making it good later. The first 1 to 2 years of making videos, I don't think they were that good, but I was just doing it. And then eventually over time, tweaking, refining, learning, growing, making it better. But whatever it is that you are trying to do, in life, even if it's just like getting a better body. It's better to be consistent. Go to the gym consistently 5 to 6 days a week and do a 10-minute workout than go once in a blue moon and do a 2-hour workout. So when I have something that I don't want to do, I just make the barrier to entry extremely low. So I just have to walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes while I scroll TikTok. No big deal. I don't have to do a whole workout. Just do something so easy that you can't fail and that your mind isn't going to dread doing it. This is a big one. I'm still working on this one, but if you can do it, it's very powerful. And that is wait 24 hours before reacting to anything that's giving you big feelings. So either very angry, very sad, anytime you want to lash out, just wait 24 hours because you still can and should assert yourself and communicate. But if you wait 24 hours, it will kind of just take the edge off. You can write down what you want to say and then look at it. Just have the self-control to not send it right away. Or what I do now is I journal. Oh, this is another huge one. And that is learn how to feel your feelings. I am teaching this to my kids, but that is where a lot of addiction and bad behavior comes from because we have an uncomfortable feeling. And instead of sitting in that discomfort, what we do is we numb it, we block it, we distract it. Some people will drink alcohol. Some people will just go on and doom scroll on their phone, but it's really the ability to sit in your discomfort. And how I do this now is by journaling. So if I have something, I actually had something upsetting happen yesterday, I just journal it out. I wrote it all out. Sometimes you could even talk to ChatGPT. I know whenever I mention this, people have a lot of opinions. There is a prompt you can put in your ChatGPT that makes it a better sounding board and not just an echo chamber, which I'll put in the description box. It does not replace real therapy, and I highly recommend therapy if you're in a pinch or you need a sounding board. ChatGPT, journaling. Integrity is everything. At the end of the day, what you have left is your word, your values. I was very young. I saw something. It was like, there's no pillow as soft as a clean conscience. Like, you don't want to be like lying, cheating, stealing, hiding things, because the person who ultimately suffers most is you in your own mind and the guilt. I mean, unless you're a sociopath. That leads me to my next one, which is the power of lifting up others. A lot of people don't do it because people tend to be focused on themselves. If you can, and whenever you can, I always like to encourage people, lift them up, compliment strangers, build people up, be impressed, and that really goes a long way. And then another thing that I do that I think is unique, I don't see many other people do this, and that is I like to make everyday life more fun. Life can be mundane. We're doing the same things. Like even if you go out with your friends, you're eating at dinner, talking about your problems or whatever. I always like to bring a little bit of fun, a little sprinkle of fun. So I bring like a game with me. I started doing now, sometimes I'll do like challenges with my friends when we go out. Add a little dash, a little sprinkle of fun in everyday life, but don't lose your playfulness, that sense of fun, because work and bills and all of these heavy things happening in our lives and in the world. So add a little sprinkle of fun. Anyway, this is a long video. I have been recording for a long time, just kind of rambling on, but these are really some of the most important, valuable life lessons I've learned in my 39, almost soon to be 40 years of life. So I hope if there's anything you got from this video, let me know down in the comments. What resonated with you the most? All of my most favorite things that I talked about earlier in the video, I'm gonna have linked down below. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna ask you as a birthday present, please share this video and save it and come back to it if you ever need a little boost, a little pick me up. So thank you so much for being here with me and for watching to this point in the video. And I will see you soon with a new video.